this video I'm going to show you how to make foghorn rollers like SIMULA. Now pretty much all the sounds used in this video are available in my Rollers DNB sample pack. There's a link down below to get that. So this video we're going to be focused on dark atmospheric sounds in the intro, and then we're going to focus on really heavy hitting drums and some absolutely disgusting basses. We're going to start with the drums, then we're going to look at the basses, then the vocals, then the instruments, and then the effects. So what I'm going to do is highlight the first 4 bars of the drop, and then I'll just remove everything like this and show you how I created it. So firstly, we started with Rollers Kick 7, which is like some really aggressive, low sounding kick drum. And then all we've done is got an EQ on it, and then this just hits every single bar like this, and then you go on step mode, zoom in, and then go to the third beat like this and move it across halfway, and then just copy this across like this, and you get that drum and bass pattern. And now we've got this thing called a snap. So this is slightly different to a clap. It's like when you snap your fingers like that, basically with a load of reverb on it. It sounds like this. There isn't any post-processing on this, but you can see that both the kick and the clap are both in mono by doing this purple thing here. That puts it in mono. And then this is just hitting on the second beat and the 4th beat. And that one there is just pre-drop like this. Nice and simple. So we get this sound. And that's pretty much most of the drums done there. So you can see on the mix down here, kick is coming in nice and loud, the loudest element, and then the clap is a little bit quieter than it. And then we've just got a few hi-hat elements to add in. So we've got this first hi-hat here, which is hat 27. And this is just coming in the little gap here we've created by moving this kick across. So here, 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 and here. Very simple. And then we've got another hi-hat here, hi-hat 25, which is coming in a bit more frequently like this. Adding a bit of transient to the kick drum on the first beat and then just supporting the hi-hat on the second one. And then we need a little bit of groove, so we've gone and grabbed this one here, hat 26, and we've just put it right before this one here like this. And then that just repeats every other one like that. And that's it, that's really simple. Now one of the loops here is actually this, it's loop 7. If you wanted to just use that, and it's got all the separate parts to it here as well, so you've got everything separated, the hat separated, and the perk separated here as well, which we're going to get onto now in the second section. We've just got our Rollers Tops 10 loop, which sounds like this. Basically loads of hi-hats playing really fast, all at different velocities to give a more natural feel to it. And then we've got this bongo sample here, the bongo 1, and the velocities on here have just been changed. And this is all coming in after the first 8 bars. So you've got 8 bars of this and then 8 bars of the variation with the instruments in. So with the tops it sounds like this. And then with the bongos as well. And they come in there, then slightly less here. So let me just zoom in on these bongos so you can see exactly how they're made. So you see this one's quieter than this one to give it that more swing feel to it. And they're all the same sample, just different volumes. All the pitches are the same as well. It's just that volume change that makes them feel like they're playing slightly differently. Like somebody's actually tapping with different hand speeds. So that is the drums in the drop done. Obviously then we'd vary it more later on. But for the intro, what we've simply done for the first 16 bars is copied the kick and snare across, and that's it. And then for the breakdown and build, we've added this really low-end style tribal sounding drums to it. So this one is just Rollers Clap 12. And then what I've done is I've automated this love filter on it, on the cutoff here. You can see the cutoff down here being automated. And it's just the sound. And a crash down there as well, with a load of reverb on it. So again, this is the same clap, but on step mode. Just a little bit off beat to give it more swing. And then this clap here, we've just added a little volume thing on it to give it more swing. And then that's just repeated all the way along here until we double it here. And you can see the filter is changing on it as well. Give this, turn this on as well. And there, and you can see in this one when the filter's on, it sounds like this. So then that's just happening with the crash that's slightly off beat because I didn't want it to get in the way of the impacts that are down here. So these impacts here. And then we bring in the kick drum, which is also filtered in with this EQ. So I'll show you. You can see here. Slowly bring in the highs in, the mids and the highs. And then we've got this rollers build-up element that we've used, and also this loop I found on Splice. When all these are together, it sounds like this. We've just got it filtering in as well. And then the snap here, and then into the drop. You can see we're really focusing on sample selection and getting it all to just sound right together. So that's the drums complete. If you're enjoying the video so far, if you could just take a second to smash that like button, it would be much appreciated. Now let's look at the basses in the drop. So what I've done here is I've actually used some of the samples in the pack, just to give you an idea of how easy it is to use these. So we've gone for the key of D sharp minor here, and this is basically just everything's pretty much in D sharp. So we've got the sub in D sharp, which is just a sample taken directly from the pack, and this is what it sounds like. And we've literally just got it playing throughout like this. And then we've got this one-shot sample with a little bit of post-processing on, so Pro MB, then an EQ, getting rid of the lows because of the sub bass. And then we've got a kickstart too, just doing the sidechain. And then we've got this crazy bass here. Now it's on D, but I think it might be playing D sharp because it is slightly detuned. And let me show you this bass. So this is the Ridic preset, and it looks like this. Yeah, you can see I've got +1 octave here. When it's playing a D, it's actually a D sharp. And if you've got the pack, then feel free to just grab this preset. Or if you don't have the pack, then I'll show you how it's made. So we've just got LFO2 on 5 different things here, 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 and here. And then it should be on the filter on the reverb here. That reverb's turned off. So is that. So it's just these plugins on it here. And these settings here. And that's the matrix looking there. So then if we go into the post-processing. So without the post-processing, it sounds like this. And then we've got loads of stuff on it. So we've got an EQ boosting the lows, even though we're going to get rid of them later. We've got Annihilate on Camel Crusher, which is a free plugin you can download on the internet. Then we've got some Reverb, Valhalla Room on these settings. Another Pro MB with exactly the same settings as the other bass had. And then we've got our Kickstart 2 and our Pro L boosting a little bit of the frequencies. One thing I like to do with my bass is I'll just have them all maxing out on the limiters. So you can see, if I get the limiters open, maxing out there, this one as well, maxing out, and then the sub bass is almost maxing out, and then all of these get sent to the bass bus. And what I simply do is turn the bass bus volume down, and that means all these sounds in the drop are going to be the same sound, and it's going to be consistent. And then we just control the volume on the bass bus to get slightly quieter than the drums. There you go. And that way your mix down is really easy to do and also is super clean. So the melody for this is really simple. The first bar is just this sound playing with the sub underneath. The next 2 bars are the foghorn sound. Then there's a little gap for 2 beats. And then this same sound plays just 1 semitone higher. And then this is literally just copied and pasted 3 more times. But we don't have the semitone up bass here, and we don't have it here either. So we could probably add some like effects or something here later on, or like a little transition element to add more depth to the track. So now let's look at the vocal. It's literally 1 vocal just before the drop, the pre-drop. So everything stops, all the drums stop, you can see here, all the effects stop, and then we just have this vocal here, which I've pitched down 6 semitones to sound like this. And the vocal perfectly fits in just before the snap comes in, and that's it. I might add some more effects to it, maybe EQ it a little bit. Could add some distortion to it. That sounds pretty cool. Maybe a little bit, make it a little bit louder. Something like that. So you can find samples like this in sample packs. I think this is from like a jungle sample pack. Or you can find stuff on Splice as well. You just got to dig deep into the archives of samples. And now let's look at the instruments. So what I've done is I've used Nexus 4, which is a Rompler synth. So instead of creating sounds using synthesis, this gives you the sound already. So it's like a live instrument or an already processed bass. So what I've done for the first sound is I found this really cool brass sound. Without any post-processing, it just sounds like this. So I thought that sounded really dark and cool, and it's just playing a D sharp for the whole first 4 bars. But then it randomly cuts off here. So what I've done is I've simply added some reverb to it. So when it cuts off now, there's a nice tail on it. And then we've just got a love filter on it. Don't think that's doing anything though. And then we've got this second instrument here, which is playing D to D sharp, which is like a pad. And this is just adding some more sound to fill up this section that otherwise sounds a little bit empty. And this has just got some reverb on it again, some decapitator and some EQ, getting rid of the lows just so it doesn't clash with the lows of that brass. And this just sounds like this. You can see again it's a very dark sound, and that decapitator is adding a bit of distortion as well. And then all of these just repeat. So this repeats 4 times throughout the intro and breakdown and the build up, and this just repeats in the intro here. And then we don't have it in the breakdown or build-up. I thought it sounded a bit weird to continue it into this section. So if you don't use Nexus 4, you can just find samples on Splice and then add some post-processing to them. Or you can use Serum. Sometimes Serum, you can find some nice gems of instruments like this. But I highly recommend getting a Rompler synth. That's ROMPLER. So if you just Google that, there's loads of them out there that you can look through. Now let's look at the effects. So we've actually got a lot of effects going on here. Firstly, let's look at the ones in the drop. So we've got this sound, which is like a scary noise, like a ghost passing by or something. And then we've got this sound, which is like a breath out. So it sounds like this. So I'll play them all together with the instruments so you can hear it. So it comes in on the 4th bar, and then on the 7th bar. So this is what I was talking about, where there's nothing playing here. We could add some maybe percussion elements here to give it more to it. Let me add one in now, actually. Let's try this one. So let's just put it in an empty slot. Let's try this perk slot. There's nothing in there. Oh, there is this one then. And then we'll just turn it down. It kind of works. Just got to experiment and trial and error different sounds for it. And then we've got all these effects in the intro. So I'll just go over them. So this is just a white noise, which you can create on Serum pretty easily with the noise section here. And then we've got another effects here, which is the 3x OSC on FL Studio, which I like using. You just get it down here and then you put them all on random like this and it creates a nice white noise sound. And then we can use this filter here to turn it into a riser. So to make it into a riser, we simply just grab this like this, hold Control and drag, and then right click, create automation clip. And then it comes up down here and we just create this nice line to make it turn into a white noise riser. And then we've got some more white noise down here. So we've got another Rollers white noise sound. So we're just combining some of the sounds. And then we've got this Atmos sound from the Rollers pack. So Atmos number 3. Which is like some eerie sounds in D. And then we just pitch adjusted it to 1+ semitone. And that adds some really cool sounds to the background of the track. Works really nicely. And then when the breakdown comes in here, we added in a down filter. So down filter number 2. I love this down filter, it sounds so cool. And then impact as well, impact number 1. I love using impacts for breakdowns. And those together sound wicked. And then the impact just repeats itself again to 4 bars of the breakdown. And then I just wanted to fill up this section with some more bits, because currently it sounds like this without anything. And whilst that sounds pretty cool, I feel like we could have added more. So I wanted to fill the sound with this police siren. And these are all off Splice. And then this computer beeping sound, and I cut out the lows to get this. And it's super quiet in the background. And then finally, this sound, some horses. I don't know why, but when I made this bit here, it reminded me of horses galloping. So I thought, why not get a sample like that in? And then finally, we've got like a riser here. That's super quiet in the background as well. And then altogether it gets this. And then just repeats itself until everything cuts off for the pre-drop. So hopefully this gave you some ideas on how to make these dark, crazy Rollers tracks. Now let's listen to the final product.
this one was.
So that's the track complete. If you want to support the channel and make really cool music like this, then make sure to grab the Rollers DNB sample pack. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want to see from me next, and I'll see you all in the next one.